want defenders to fear me. I want to be remembered as one of the greatest to ever play this game.
Reggie! Adrian Peterson is loose. There goes Reggie.
This guy's something else.
Reggie Bush taking it to the house.
We must get it in the end zone.
Adrian Peterson is gone. A patented flare to leap for the touchdown.
Adrian sprints in for a touchdown.
Reggie Bush makes it look easy.
And he gallops into Vikings immortality. Way to go, kid.
Hi, everybody, and welcome in to another edition of NFL Primetime. So glad you are here with us. Trey Wingo, Trent Dilfer, and Merrill Hodge. Guys, we got a good one coming up tonight. The Saints at home taking on the Minnesota Vikings. New Orleans trying to go where they could never go last year, which is over 500. But after all that preseason talk about Minnesota maybe being a Super Bowl contender, they are in desperate need of a win tonight to try and salvage their season. We'll take you through the entire weekend of the NFL, but first, let's get you caught up on the game that will be played tonight right here on ESPN for a Teams at 20 update. We check in with Susie Colbert and say hello in New Orleans. Hello, Susie.
Hello, Trey. And with the long list of injuries for the Saints, it's nice to talk about a return. Last week, Deuce McAllister saw his first significant playing time coming back from major knee surgery. He had 20 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. And without him, the Saints had really struggled in the run game, especially in short yardage. And what an emotional lift. Sean Payton told us that they introduced 12 on offense so the crowd could go crazy when they brought out Deuce. And then Drew Brees told us that every time they were inside the 20, the crowd was chanting Deuce so loud he had to quiet them down. Needless to say, this is good timing against a Vikes defensive front that is very imposing. Now for more on those Vikings, let's go over to Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Susie, last week with Gus Frerotte under center, the Vikings had 274 yards passing, the highest total in the Brad Childress era. Childress told us last night, our passing game is a work in progress. With Frerott's strong arm and the Saints' porous secondary, the Vikings will look to take some shots down the field tonight. As Childress put it, quote, we will be aggressive. But Frerotte added it's important that the Vikings offense stay on the field. He said if we can keep Drew Brees and that show off the field, Trey, we'll be doing our job.
All right, Michelle, thanks very much. They will be doing their job, but they can keep that offense off the field because that is the strength of the New Orleans Saints. It's no secret, Merrill, that the strength of the Minnesota Vikings is the cashier, as you like to call him, Adrian Peterson. And you know they're going to work him out against the 20th ranked rushing defense in New Orleans.
And then you got to find out where they're going to attack. And for the New Orleans Saints, the area that really must step up tonight is their defensive tackles. They're going to have a big-time football game because the Vikings will run right at you. Here's some evidence against the Saints. There's the tackles. 49ers, they exposed it a little bit. They ran right at them. They get double teams. You get movement on the defensive line. And when you do that and you get it back like Gore, you get chunks of yards. Look at the movement. You cannot have that tonight. You must hold up and split those double teams because here's what you're going to get. Minnesota loves to run downhill. Hutchinson, Burke right there in the middle. And then you got the cashier, the factor back, AP, whatever you want to call it. Once you get him beyond the defensive line and beyond that area in the defensive backs, it spells danger for your team. If Minnesota can do this and they run the football, then it becomes run action off of that. Then some explosive plays in their passing game, and then you have bounce. And maybe the Vikings, which we talked about earlier in the year, could be a Super Bowl team if that complement starts to happen for them offensively.
Clearly, they are going to choose to go and attack this on the ground. The Saints, the other way, are going to prefer the aerial assault because, Trent, Drew Brees right now is on pace, yes, it's still early in the season, to break the single-season passing yardage mark set by Dan Marino way back in 1984.
Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Merrill's right again because the Vikings' best chance is to keep Drew Brees off the football field. This is the best deep ball thrower in the National Football League. I watched all the tape this week, and it is unbelievable what you're seeing. Right here, it's 3rd and 3. He's trying to get the ball to an option route at the sticks to get the first down. But this is a quarterback that can adjust mid-play and throw the deep ball off rhythm. Most quarterbacks throw the deep ball, they lock and load. They lock onto the deep guy and load and throw it. Not Drew Brees. This is wonderful here. He knows he's got a free play. He sees the flag up, or at least has the moxie to know, Sal. Know it. He gets Devery Henderson on a matchup and delivers an absolute dime down the field for a free play touchdown at 84 yards. Why can he do it? He has a great foundation. His leg stays loaded. His shoulders stay level. That's great teaching tape for a young quarterback.
I hope my Little League team's watching this, Trent.
He's got a blitz here. He knows it. He's outmanned. There's a 2-on-1 to his left. So what's he do? He drifts to his right. He buys time, and he gives air underneath the football to let a young receiver, Robert Meacham, find the ball and look like a star catching a big gain. This is just 3 plays we showed. I watched all the tape this week, and it is amazing how many times Drew Brees gets the ball on top of the secondary, and these aren't hard catches. These are breadbasket throws. He makes it look easy.
Well, the other thing that really speaks to how good he's been, he's doing this without his tight end Jeremy Shockey, without Marcus Colston, without David Patton at times. He's using guys that are just filling in and suddenly saying, hey, Drew Brees is going to get me the ball if I'm open. I'm going to make that catch. Fact that may only interest me. The last 3 meetings between these two have averaged 60 points a game. So it's been a real shootout. The last 3 all won by Minnesota.
You're right.
Go figure. It does only interest me.
Not interesting.
When we continue on NFL Primetime, boy, Sage Rosenfels played great for 56 minutes. The game lasts 60. Reggie Wayne, one of the great catches you'll ever see. 5 games into the season, the Titans living up to their nickname. They are playing large, even though it was a battering Baltimore threw at them. And will hail to the Redskins be the theme of the team to beat by the time we finish this season in the NFC East.
Day after day, brave as your life, be the one you never be again. Day after day, brave as your life, be the one you never be again.
Back to NFL Primetime.
As we continue on NFL Primetime, Trey Wingo here with Trent Dilfer and Merrill Hodge. Okay, it didn't get any easier for the Baltimore Ravens. After a tough overtime loss on Monday night, they did get to go home where the Tennessee Titans were waiting for them. Arguably the most physically dominant team in the league. Free hot tubs and massages needed after this one. Oh, Ray getting the team fired up, baby. Kerry Collins facing him for the first time since Super Bowl 35. That didn't go well for him. Trent, you were there. Collins over the middle. You say goodbye. I say hello-de nada. Tips it to Justin Bannon. Fridge to fridge.
Look at this. Look what just fell into my arms.
And he'll take it. Second quarter, Collins looking over the middle, and Chris McAllister picks him off again. Kerry had 2 interceptions in the first half. Now, other side of the ball, young quarterback Joe Flacco, you never make this mistake.
No, you don't. You know, the kid is really growing, but this is something you can't do. Rolling to your right, you can't throw it back to your left. Nothing but bad things happen when you're young and you do that.
But that will happen. Michael Griffin will pick it off. And then there was Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis was here, there, and everywhere in this contest. Chris Johnson is a fine player. Ray Lewis,
tackling.
Oh,
one of the best. He's been like this for the his career. Actually playing as good as he's playing in a long time. But open field tackling is a lost art. He's one of the best in football.
Lendell White and then Johnson again. Ray Lewis was not to be denied in this game. Let's move to the third quarter now. Game tied at 3. Little trickeration. Mark Clayton around the end. He picks up 9 yards, but that's not what we're focusing on. Look there.
Extracurricular activity.
That is correct. Cortland Finnegan and somebody else getting in the middle of it. Offsetting personal fouls were assessed. Okay, so we had our mistake. Yeah. It's a push. We don't do that again. Later in the drive, Willis McGahee running outside, and he's thrown down by who? Cortland Finnegan gets
The
hit
leader of this defense,
with
Trey.
a personal foul. Keith Bullock says, dude, seriously,
Don't.
You're killing us.
Stop it.
Don't do that.
We're so bad, we fight ourselves.
Later in the drive from the one, LaRon McClain takes it in, and the Ravens are up 10-3. And again on the sidelines, Bullock and Finnegan having discussions about what to do and what not to do. Keith is a little angry. Fourth
get him
quarter,
angry.
no, do not, because he can play now. Then Kerry Collins airing it out, but it's tipped. But look what happens. Is this a penalty here? They call it for
I don't
personal
think
foul
it is.
here on
It's not
offside.
deliberate. There's no act that says that was deliberate.
All right, so they got it, though. Later in that drive, Collins, it's Chris Davis who picks up a huge first down. Now it's 3rd and 5. Good throw here to Bo Scaife, Trent.
Yeah, this is managing the game. It's managing your opportunities. Move the chains. Give yourself a chance to do this right here when it matters the most. Pump fake. Get a guy open. Throw a touchdown.
Algernon Darius Crumpler, son of Carl Lester Crumpler, brother of Carl Lester Crumpler Jr. The Titans win this one. Greatest family name in football. The Titans defense has suffocated people, not allowing more than 17 points in a game this season. This Titans team is reminiscent of another power 8 years ago, the 2000 Ravens. Now, if the Titans keep up hope, they have to have the same result as that team because they went on to win the Super Bowl. Again, I say, Trent, you were there. Colts, Texans. Houston finally playing their Ike-delayed home opener, getting set and trying to get something going after a really rough start to the season. But Sage Rosenfels, the backup in, Matt Schaub, hospitalized with a virus overnight. And early on, he was on the money. Rosenfels to Andre Johnson. Very good. Next play, he goes back to Johnson again, Trent.
This is a heck of a football play. This shows a lot of confidence for a guy who hasn't played a lot, but he trusts his receiver to make a play for him in the back of the end zone, and Andre Johnson comes through.
17-10, Texans up. Andre, huge game, 9 grabs, 131 yards and a touchdown. In the fourth quarter, they're up by 10, and you know what you're going to do when you're up by 10 on Indy. You're going to run on them, Merrill.
Why not? When you conceal the edge and you get all that perimeter and you get speed and elusiveness, why not?
Steve Slayton picks up 41 yards down to the Colts 39. He got him down there. Why don't we let him finish it as well? Goes in for the touchdown. Matt Schaub thinking, man, this is okay. Slayton 93 yards. They're up 27-10. 27-10. Okay, now it's a 10-point game. Sage Rosenfels has played great for 56 minutes. What are we doing here?
That's not your job, Sage. You're saying, look at the scoreboard, Sage. You're up 10. Keep the clock moving.
Argue
Win
rip
the
guy
game.
for effort.
Yes, you
I
can.
think
You got to use your
because he
brain.
is. Gary Brackett and his incredibly large head goes the other way.
3rd and 8. You're going to end this game by effort.
That's
Are you
not his
kidding
job.
me?
His job is to end it with his mind
So
and his moxie and his composure.
And don't put him on a boot then.
So then we got him on this now, and look, it's a bad play by Rosenfels, but a great play by Robert Mathis to come up with a sack in the strip. The Colts get the ball.
All right, go,
look at
Trent.
the
I
layout.
agree.
Once
Done this.
again, just not framing the game, not understanding where you're at in the football game. Mathis makes a great play, but tuck the ball, get down, keep the clock rolling.
Because if you give Peyton Manning a chance, he will do this. Oh, what a great catch by Reggie Wayne, guys. What a great catch by Reggie Wayne.
We saw a couple great catches today, but this tops the list because it mattered the most. He made the play when he absolutely had to. That's what great players do.
And in one hand, he never had that ball move an iota. That's why he had complete possession, even though it was turning over. They're back up on top, 31-27. So now you got to try something, right? You got to do something, and then he does that.
Unfortunately, this is what happens when you have to force it.
Yep. It was not a great finish. Colts somehow find a way to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, 31-27. Okay, that was the good news. Now look where they go for the next 7 games. Ravens at Green Bay, at Tennessee, home for the Patriots, at Pittsburgh. They get the Texans again, and then they got to go to San Diego. So it begs a very interesting question, Merrill, and let's start with you. Hey, Colts are great. They're 2-2. They've had a couple of unbelievable wins. You could make the argument they should be 4-4, but 0-4, but they're not. But can they survive that slate of games with the way they're playing football right now?
Well, I say yes. One of the obvious reasons is because of Peyton Manning. But I also look at the conference. The conference is not what it used to be. When you look at it even a year ago, boy, it'd be a tough sledding. But I think because of Peyton Manning, you're going to get some of your defensive players back. You know, Dwight Freeney hasn't played to the level that he's capable of. He's coming through an injury. Once he gets his motor fully running and starts to dominate games like he has the capability of, then I think you're going to be okay. But number 18 really gives you that luxury.
Absolutely. It's all about number 18. It's the fact that 18, anytime you have him on your football team, the team breathes a collective sigh of relief. And then on top of that, Tony Dungy will do a great job managing the ship. He will make everybody understand this is a one-game process. Don't look ahead to the schedule. It's no hill for a climber. We'll continue to do our thing, get better each week, play better defense, and trust at the end of the game, we got Peyton Manning. He's going to make a play.
It may be all about 18, but it may be about another 18 as well, as in 18 plus an 8 on the end, 188 yards a game. That's what they're giving up on the ground. Worst in the NFL right now. They've got to get Bob Sanders back and try and stop that. Of course, the last time they had a terrible run defense, oh yeah, they won the Super Bowl. When we continue,
throw that sheet out.
Listen, Patriots off a bye week after a blowout. Did you really think they weren't going to win this game against the Niners? Plus, it's the new and improved Miami Dolphins in 2008. Already 100% better than they were a year ago. Stay with us. Highlights coming.
Reggie Bush electrifying. Reggie Bush using his speed. Reggie Bush points in a record. A historic run for Reggie Bush. He dives in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Touchdown, Reggie Bush.
Monday means NFL on NASN. Week 5 of the NFL, and after an uneven start to their season, the Saints are looking to get a win as they host the Vikings at the Superdome. Live NFL, Minnesota versus New Orleans, tonight only on NASN.
Welcome back to Primetime. I'm Susie Colber in New Orleans with your Teams at 20 update. Toughest test for the Saints tonight, stopping Adrian Peterson. Linebacker Jonathan Vilma said he's so glad he got to practice against Reggie Bush in training camp so he could get used to how fast a back can get around the corner. And it's why defensive end Will Smith talked about protecting the edges and flushing him back inside. Well, inside will be a challenge too because Peterson is so strong he can run you over. And tonight the Saints will be without defensive tackle Cedric Ellis, who has a knee injury.
We continue on Primetime. LaDainian Tomlinson and the Chargers in Miami taking on Ronnie Brown. Tony Sperano has got his team trying to get things going. And this Wildcat offense, Merrill, it's as if nobody saw it the week ago when they used it against the Patriots.
Actually, the defenders a little better because they have some tape on it. But one thing they do a great job, get the quarterback, put him wide where he can occupy a defender, not get him involved in a running game. But one thing that you do, in all seriousness, is you have an extra blocker because of this. You know, you can fake it. When a quarterback hands it off, it's 10 on 11. When you snap it to a running back, now you get that extra blocker, and it helps. But they also know how to run it well. Ronnie Brown knows how to run it well. They block well up front, and he does a great job with his patience up front, pressing the hole, Coach Ditka.
Yeah, well, those are runs of 12, 4, and 9. And then once again with the Wildcat formation, Brown takes the snap, and he gets a great block from Ricky Williams there.
Good job
Seals
out there,
off
Chad.
the end.
What are you doing out there, Chad?
By the way, 11 times 51 yards and a touchdown, Ronnie Brown. 125 yards on the ground. Now, the defense, boy, Trent, they got all over LaDainian Tomlinson, and penetration on the line included Matt Roth right there.
They did. They were very physical up front, but another thing they did is they took away the big play for the Chargers, so they were never able to switch the field, and it frustrated them.
It certainly did. Second quarter, 2nd and 1. And look, that's 2nd and 1. It turns into 3rd and 6 as Joey Porter gets back there.
What's a common theme we're seeing here?
Penetration.
Untouched guys. I mean, you can't
Kills
run
the running
ball.
game. I've been telling you that forever.
So we should talk, just so we're clear, we don't think this is because of LaDainian Tomlinson's toe. It's simply because of the offensive line of the Chargers here.
There's no question.
All right, but it never got going. Even on a fourth, look, LaDainian Tomlinson on a 4th and goal from the 1, you got to be kidding me. He was held to 35 yards on 12 carries. Dolphins win 17-10. As we go inside the numbers, congratulations to the Miami Dolphins of 2008. With their 2nd win of the season, they've doubled what they did in 07, and they have become giant killers in 08, beating both teams that participated in the AFC Championship game of a year ago. The Patriots and the Chargers outscoring them 55-23, and Ronnie Brown suddenly looks like the best player in that high rush of draft picks in 2005. He's tied for the league lead with 6 rushing touchdowns. All right, so the Patriots now, the last time we saw them, they were getting thrashed by the Wildcat formation. Bye week, going to San Francisco. Here now the courtesy highlight for San Francisco. Steve Young had his number 8 retired. Congratulations to our own Steve Young. Jerry Rice was there. The whole family was there. It's nice to see that happen. Unfortunately, the game did not work out so well for all those people there to wish Steve well. Matt Castle, hey, could you find Randy Moss, Steve? Oh, wait a minute. I think he has. 66 yards for a touchdown. Patriots tie the game at 7. Trent, do your extensive breakdown on this play.
He rolls to the right to buy time, and this is a really fast receiver running fast and a quarterback throwing it really far. Eagles, touchdown.
Yeah, that's, by the way, he gets paid millions of dollars for breaking it down.
Just secondary is supposed to be pretty good secondary.
Supposed to be. And again, he notices, Matt Castle on this play, that there's a cushion to Randy Moss. Guess what? If there's a cushion to Randy Moss, you're going to go to him.
Yeah, absolutely. The Patriots coaching staff did a fine job of finding pick and stick throws for Matt Castle, where he could lock on, find Randy Moss, and complete the ball.
Another first down. That set up Kevin Falk right up the gut. So the Patriots now up 17-14. Niners ball 2nd and 2. 2nd and 2. You want to give it to Frank Gore, right?
Frank Gore, 16 touches this week, 18 last week. Not enough. Mike Martz, call some runs for your best player, number 21.
Instead, Rodney Harrison gets the pick. New England takes over. And on a 4th and 2, Kevin Falk direct snap. Pats go up by 10, 24-14. 4th quarter now. Patriots lead 27-21, trying to close them out. Little screen pass. Falk close to the first down spot, but it looks like it's a little short. So Bill Belichick, a brilliant challenge of the spot of the ball.
Yeah, it really is. First of all, the effort to get there. You know, it goes unnoticed. There's the offensive line getting out, making a play, and Kevin Falk getting every last yard he can.
And that leads to a first down, and then Castle to Jabbar Gaffney. This puts the Patriots in field goal range. Guys, this is the way the Patriots played when they won those Super Bowls. They found ways to get little things done that won games. Gostkowski with the kick. Patriots go on to win 30-21, bouncing back from the blowout before the bye week. When we continue, the Washington Redskins have already finished their road portion of the program for the entire year in the NFC East. Meanwhile, in the NFC East, the New York Giants have quietly been dominant. How good are they? And can anybody figure out the drama in Dallas? Yes, they won. They almost blew a 17-point lead.
Beating the wind in my eyes.
and company in Philadelphia to take on Donovan McNabb. Really a must-win game for the Eagles. And they came out, they were fired up. You know, this game really took two big turns, so let's cut it in two halves. There's Brian Westbrook, who did not play in the loss to Chicago.
More of that, Philly. More of that,
well,
Philly.
They may not have more of that. We'll get to that later. And then there's Deshaun Jackson, the man who makes every play interesting for both teams. On the punt return, the rookie out of Cal. Thank you, my friend.
That was funny.
He does have wheels.
He's fast, too.
He is very fast. Trent, what happened on this play? He was fast.
He was fast, yeah.
Eagles up 14-0 after the 68-yard kick return. They led 14-9 at the half. Then the second half was played. It was much better for the visiting team. Clint Portis.
That same foot, same shoulder, rise and blow. Behind your pads, little leaguers. Behind your pads.
Or big leaguers.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the NFL could run like that. And that sets up trickeration. Antoine Randall, college quarterback, to Chris Cooley, who just goes completely uncovered into the end zone.
And Jim Zorn shows a lot of faith in his team. They only rep this play one time during the week, and they call it in a crucial moment, and their players come through and execute it perfectly.
Redskins go up after that one, 16-14. Then ESPN Access in the third. Merrill, break down what happened on this play.
Here's what I love so much about it. Is, you know what? The Eagles like to blitz. They bring their safety up there. Like, you know what? Forget about it. We're not going to block him. We're going to run to the other side. Get the double team with the two tight ends. That's going to create a seal here. Then we're going to take our all-pro tackle. We're going to kick out here, creating an alley here for our fullback, who will lead up in there and make another block at the second level. We have now what they call an alley. And Vince Lombardi would love this. Clinton Portis will be patient. Look at the timing. Let those things develop. Look at it open up. Parting of the sea. Big gashing gains for the Washington Redskins.
A 27-yard gain. We would have had more ESPN Access, but we ran out of quarters. That left them to the 7-yard line.
That was funny.
Listen,
You're too much.
You're on fire today.
I'm not making this stuff up. Portis goes in for a touchdown. He had a big day. Skins up 23-14. Okay, remember last week when the Eagles couldn't get it in to win the game?
Well, that's not going to happen again.
Not again. 2nd and 1. You got Westbrook. No. All right, next play. Watch Andre Carter as he gets what?
What does he
kills
have?
The running game? Penetration. And there's nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide. Settled for a loss of 3. They got to kick a field goal. So now, really, all the Redskins have to do is run out the clock. And 4th and 1 at the 38, they go for it.
This is a statement call by Jim Zorn that will resonate in that locker room, that he believes in them in that situation.
23-17, the Redskins win again. Okay, so they've had a couple of tough games early. Now look at their next 3 games. Rams 0-4, who, by the way, won't have tight end Randy McMichael. He's done for the year. The Browns are 1-3. And the Lions, as you will see later on in this highlight, really not firing on all cylinders at the moment. But let us go back to the Washington Redskins. Merrill, you really cannot say enough about this team. They looked terrible week 1 in the season opener, and yet they have come on and put together back-to-back road wins in Dallas and in Philadelphia.
Well, then it starts with Jim Zorn, their head coach. I think he's done a great job of taking an offensive philosophy and blending it with his talent. Not saying, hey, well, I got a philosophy and you're going to run it. Find out what they do well and then bring it together. He's done that. But then they've responded. This offensive line's playing better than anybody in football right now. They can run the football, and they do not panic. And Jason Campbell has been outstanding. And I don't have enough time to even talk about their defense, which they've been impressive in their secondary in disguising coverages and giving the quarterback all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, I'll talk about their defense.
Good.
They've done a great job, like you say, kind of coming up with some packages to take away the greatest weapon from whatever team they're playing. And like Merrill said, they do it a bunch of different ways. But at the end of the day, what they do is they mash you up front, they get penetration, they create havoc in the backfield, and their secondary is physical. They jam people at the line of scrimmage, they take away the rhythm of the passing game, and then they hit you. And when a secondary hits you like that, the guys trying to catch the ball get a little squirmish when they go across the ball.
Gator arms, is that what you're saying?
Hey, Trey, can I just tell you this too?
Tell me one thing, because I got something else I want to share.
Winning those 2 games on the road tell you about a team's mental toughness. And I'm telling you, that is one of the difficult things.
Amen,
they got
brother.
behind in both games, but they didn't panic, and they won those games.
And again, you cannot overstate this. By October 5th, Sunday, the Redskins have completed the road portion of their program in their division. Now the Eagles, the Cowboys, and Giants all have to go to Washington for the 2nd meeting around. And it doesn't get any easier for the Philadelphia Eagles, ladies and gentlemen. Andy Reid disclosing on Monday that Brian Westbrook, who already is dealing with a high ankle sprain, has 2 fractured ribs. Not sure about his status for the Eagles' now very must-win game this coming Sunday. We mentioned the Giants. They're the only team that has beaten the Washington Redskins. And Eli Manning and company, what do you want on offense? You want balance. So let's take a look at the passing game first. Remember, no Plexico Burris. No Plex?
No problem.
No problem.
And that's because you have a nice, that's a pocket.
Yeah, and this is the best offensive line in professional football, the New York Giants. They play the best together.
Arguable, but we'll let you take that. Dominic Hickson for a 32-yard touchdown. And then look at the drop. Everything works right. Eli's patient. And suddenly he finds Amani Toomer, ladies and gentlemen, for a 22-yard gain. All right, so we've got Dominic Hickson. We've got Amani Toomer. Let's go back to Hickson. Play fake. Plenty of time, sets and throws, and Hickson is there, makes a nice adjustment. He had 102 yards on the day and a touchdown. You know, they've been waiting for Sonoris Moss to sort of develop for the Giants.
Maybe he did it right.
Wait no longer.
I'll tell you what, that shows you the development of Eli Manning right there. Pull that safety over, realizes the slot defender has outside technique.
Right,
that was on Eli Manning. Great job.
So we have the passing game, and we have a running game, Haji and Brandon. Jake.
I think that's actually, we call that a locomotive.
Yes.
Because anything over 250 pounds.
Actually, that's a diesel.
It should be illegal.
No, diesel, tractor trailer, and listen, it's not just Jacobs. Okay,
we got a little Ferrari too back there.
You know, we got a little bit of everything going here for a 24-yard gain. Look at the replay. Look at
that a U-block. Get up to the second level, create an alley and a seam for your fast back.
Okay, so we got that working. Let's go to the big guy again. Notice how no one really interested in getting in his way.
And there's a theme here. These running backs are getting through the line of scrimmage untouched. Now, if I'm a secondary player, no Moss for me. I don't want any of that.
So what do you do in the huddle? Hey, guys, front seven, you get paid a lot of money. Could you start making a tackle, please?
Jacobs, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns, 523 yards of offense in the 38-point shellacking. We presented the Redskins. We presented the Giants. This is why the NFC East is clearly the best division.
How about them Cowboys?
Well, it was a tale of 2 games there, too. Now, Felix Jones, yea, verily, did not get a single touch.
There's a reason, Trey's not explosive. He can't score points.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute.
That. On a 4th and 4, he explodes and he scores a touchdown. The Cowboys, at this point, go up 10-0. Great block by Colombo here.
It really is. Big man getting on the edge and scaring the bejeepers out of the Force player there. I said bejeepers.
Yeah, well, bejeepers, I believe you. So there you go. Jones, 9 carries, 96 yards. That's an exceptional average. Now, there was Tony Romo. He had some very good plays. This was not one of them. Just like Sage Rosenfeld's tuck it away, fumbalaya, fumbleruski. It's a scramble. It's picked up by Jamar Fletcher. Eventually, he'll be tackled by Marion Barber, which is a good thing, except he uses the face mask portion of the helmet, which is a penalty. 2 turnovers on the day for Romo. He also threw a pick. Did I say he also threw a pick?
You did.
It was right here. To Keith Rivers. 40.
Tad underthrown.
40 yards on the
play
return.
by Rivers.
It was a great play, but here's the problem. The Cowboys were up 17-0 at home against a winless team. It's suddenly a 1-point game, 17-16. And at this point, Terrell Owens only had 1 reception. Scratch that. He now has 2. And he's got a touchdown, Trent Dilfer.
And this is what will happen when you run the offense, Merrill, through your runners and Witten. The impact of T.O.'s plays will be so much greater.
24-16. 136 career touchdowns.
Why give it to this guy? Can you explain to me why?
It doesn't make any sense.
Why would you do this?
18 yards plus a face mask penalty, and then perhaps a little lucky trying to seal the game 24-22. Romo throws a strike to Miles Austin, and it goes to Patrick Creighton for the touchdown. How did this happen?
It's not luck.
We don't know how that happened.
It just
kind of happened.
Well, let me put it this way. 2 people could have caught it. One of them did. Cowboys win. They move to 4-1, 31-22. So let's just look at this NFC East again. Okay. The Eagles are the worst team right now in the division, and they're not bad. The Giants are unbeaten. Merrill thinks the Redskins may be the best team in football. The Cowboys have a lot of talent, and they are 4-1. But since all 4 teams can't make the playoffs, just like last year, 3 of them are getting in, more than likely, and 1 of them will be sitting at home. That will be a tough chore for one of those 4 teams. When we continue on NFL Primetime, Ben Roethlisberger was like Gumby in the game Sunday against the Jags. Very flexible. And Trent Edwards took a big hit, and so did the hopes of an undefeated season in Buffalo. Arizona at home is no pushover anymore. Plus, Aaron Rodgers did what he had to do. But was it enough against Atlanta?
you the very best MLB coverage, including the playoffs and the 2008 World Series. Major League Baseball, only on NASN.
Welcome back to Primetime. I'm Michelle Tafoya in New Orleans with a Teams at 20 update. Good news and bad news for the Minnesota Vikings today. Starting with the bad news, linebacker E.J. Henderson was put on injured reserve today. He will miss the remainder of the season after dislocating 2 toes in last week's loss at Tennessee. David Herron will be his replacement tonight. But the good news, the Vikings will have Pro Bowl left tackle Bryant McKinney on the field for the first time this season after he served a 4-game NFL suspension. Brad Childress likes McKinney's conditioning level, but he does plan to use backup Artis Hicks as well.
We continue on primetime after a Monday night overtime win. Pittsburgh had to go to Jacksonville. Big Ben and company had lost the last 4 games to the Jags. It did not start well. On their first possession, they were moving until Rasheed Mathis, who just owns Ben Roethlisberger, picks him off air, and 72 yards later, he's in for the touchdown. Big Ben and the Steelers find themselves down 7-0 early.
Wait a minute, coach, in the game plan, we were supposed to start like this.
That was correct. That is correct.
It's not the mistake. It's what you do after the mistake.
Or another way of saying it ain't how you start, it's how you finish.
But everybody says it that way.
I agree. You're unique. Trent, you're
A little smoke route right there. Going to run the ball.
Antonio Holmes for 19. Then to Nate Washington, the pride of Tiffin, for another 14. And then Ben Roethlisberger, pump fake, and I believe
I bid on that.
That was blown coverage.
And this is a quarterback that did not throw a football all week, and to come out and have that type of rhythm and timing, very impressive.
17-14 at that point, but now they're down by a point, 21-20. And Ben Roethlisberger, look, come on, John Henderson is ridiculously large, and somehow he gets away from him and gets to Hines Ward. I mean, John Henderson's a big dude.
Yeah, Ben's the
And a
most
strong dude.
intuitive quarterback in the National Football League, getting out of those messes.
What was that word?
Intuitive.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Nope.
You just did. Country of origin? No. Okay. Back to Nate Washington there, but he got a penalty for showing the ball. So, again, Ben has to do his amazing Houdini routine. You've got to be kidding me. Rob Meyer is all over him.
I got nothing for you. I cannot explain how he makes that play.
Well, he's hurt. The only reason is he's as big as most of the people trying to tackle him. That's the thing he's really got going. You want to talk about a fade route to the flag?
Fadeaway jumper, dime to Hines Ward. That was pretty.
Big Ben, 26 of 41, 309 yards, 3 touchdowns. They win at 26-21, and they go into their bye week, which may be the most important thing for this team right now. They are beat up. They are banged up. Roethlisberger's shoulder is hurting, but they've got the bye. How long can the Steelers keep going like this?
Well, I don't know. And the question I have is, who are the Steelers? You have a depleted defensive line because of injury. Your offensive line is banged up. You have no running backs. And Ben Roethlisberger said, it's all right, guys. I'll shoulder this football team. I'll take it. I'll go out and single-handedly win this football game for us. And that gets said a bunch in the NFL, and it hardly ever happens. It happened last night with Ben Roethlisberger. He was simply amazing. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, Merrill, have to do a better job of reestablishing that old school identity that's got him to this farce.
But you paid Ben $100 million. Don't you expect that? Now, I say that jokingly, but I think that's what happens sometimes. You pay a guy so much money, you expect him to win games like that. And there will be moments like this. But I agree with Trent. At some point, you have to have a staple, a foundation that you can trust and build on, that you can rely on when things aren't going well. And it used to be. When I played there, and for the history, you can probably sprinkle a couple years in there where it wasn't like this. It is their running game, their physical presence that they present to each and every team. I'm not concerned about their defense. Dick LeBeau is fine there. It's their offense. And I think Trent's question is right. Are they going to commit themselves to that and create that staple, or is it going to just be sprinkled in on occasion? If it is, I think there's moments where they could be brilliant like we saw Sunday night, or they can struggle.
Well, Moreeeee Moore ran very well as their third-string backup. And I think they wanted to start this season that way, but Willie Parker got hurt, then Rashard Mendenhall got hurt. At some point, you got to do whatever you have.
When Parker comes back, I mean, we'll have to see how they address that. If Willie becomes the foundation like they have done in the past, then I think they're going to be fine, and they're one of the teams to beat.
Well, if Parker can come back, they do have control right now in that division in the AFC North, but their schedule going down gets very, very tough through the last 6 or 7 weeks of the season. Meanwhile, you got to give a lot of credit to one man Sunday, and it wasn't a winning quarterback. in Green Bay. It was the losing quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. He did indeed make his 5th straight start despite the huge issue with his shoulder. And there he throws it to James Jones, and you can see on that throw, man, that shoulder's going to bother me, but it's going to bother me all day long. But I'm going to hang in there, and I'm going to make the throws I need to make.
Exactly, and he did not have his fastball, but he showed some moxie. Again, I use moxie in this game because he was able to manage his injury, which we've talked about is a huge part of playing quarterback.
Now, that tied the game. Now, here he makes the one bad throw he should not have made. It's intercepted by Michael Boley. Trent, what happened here?
Yeah, this is just a guy trying to make a play when you're down. You're going to see the running back is open for the quick dump off. Aaron had played well to this point. I think he just tried to make too much out of nothing.
Now, he never took his eyes off the receiver where he was going, and that, of course, would lead to a Michael Turner touchdown. The Falcons at one point up by 10, but here comes Atlanta. Another great throw to Jennings. Boy, that guy is tough to bring down. A 23-yard, or gets to the 23-yard line, so with 2 minutes left, 3rd and goal. Dare I say, a Favre-esque-type play.
It looks a lot like number 4, doesn't it?
The shovel pass to Donald Lee. Rodgers, 25 of 37, 313 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. But, you know, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Ryan is playing real well, and Roddy White, since about the middle of last year, has become a big-time receiver.
And credit Mike Mularkey, their offensive coordinator, for setting him up for success. You know what? 1st and 10, throw the ball early. Get him in rhythm.
Like there.
And a little thing there, he keeps his eyes downfield to freeze the corner to get him the cheap little completion.
And then this throw is real nice, and it's a great job by White there to take that ball. White catches 8, grabs 132 yards. The Falcons win in Green Bay 27-24. We go from the not quite frozen tundra to where it's always non-frozen in Arizona. Bill's trying to go 5-0. Trent Edwards completed 3 passes on the only 3 plays he was in. Unfortunately for him, the 3rd play is Adrian Wilson coming up on the blitz. He makes the completion, but he paid dearly for it. Edwards was knocked out, did not return, suffered a concussion. The NFL is looking into this play. It looks like Adrian leads with his head here, Trent.
It does. That's a vicious hit. The thing that's admirable by Trent is that he holds on to the ball to last possible second to let his receiver get open.
His day was done. Now, Kurt Warner had the disastrous game last week. 7 turnovers, or 6 turnovers, 3 interceptions, 3 fumbles. Here hits Larry Fitzgerald. And then, of course, there's no Anquan Bolden, so he's using what he's got.
Although, you know what they did? They changed some things up. Look at the quick passing game, 3-step drop, quick routes, to help your quarterback out. If he's going to hold the ball too long, we'll do some routes that he gets rid of the football quick and a short drop.
Couple of Steve Breston receptions. That would lead to a Tim Hightower touchdown, 14-0. Then Warner to Larry Fitzgerald. He's a large fella, too, about 6'4". And then on the same drive, Kurt Warner using the magic black gloves on both hands this time. It's Ben Patrick for 10 yards. Down to the 5, Edgerrin James would punch it in. They're up 21-7. And then back to that quick passing game you were talking about, Mel.
Yeah, well, they did a good job of that. And Kurt Warner, you know what, got to help your players sometimes. When they want to make big plays and they hold the ball a little longer, well, you know what, get rid of the ball quicker. And then later in the game, you can go down the field.
And that's exactly what they did here. Another catch, and things are moving. A little screen to J.J. Arrington, picks up 13 yards and a 1st down. And Larry Fitzgerald is really, really good. When all else fails, go to him. But first you go to Arrington here for the 13 yards and the 1st down. They found holes in that defense, and they used players they thought could use the mismatches.
They did. They did a good job, you know, managing. Even Kurt Warner needs to be managed from the sideline, giving them pick-and-stick throws so the ball would come out. There's nothing wrong with that. It was a great way to come off of the New York debacle.
5 straight home wins dating back to last season. Speaking of 5 games into this season, what's not to love about the Carolina Panthers? Yes, it was the Chiefs, but you do what you do to bad teams. You roll them. John Kitten and the Lions. Things are not going well there at all. Wait till you see how not well they're going.
So that's a double helping of live NCAA football with College Bowl on the side.
ESPN 360. Whenever you're online, you're at the game.
Don't even know what I'll say when I find you.
Sunday means NFL on NASN. Week 5 of the NFL, and after an uneven start to their season, the Saints are looking to get a win as they host the Vikings at the Superdome. Live NFL, Minnesota versus New Orleans, tonight only on NASN.
Mike Shanahan hoping his defense would help himself against the Tampa Bay Bucks. And look, we got things going here. Ebenezer Ekubon will fight his way into the backfield and get to Brian Griese. That's been the one thing that's been lacking from Denver's great start the entire season.
Much improved defensively for Denver. I was actually very impressed with how they played.
Let's go to the other end. Elmas Dumerville gets around and
three-man rush, too.
Gets to Griese again. Broncos had 3 sacks into the game, or had 3 sacks in the game after just 6 through their first 4. And then Champ Bailey, boy, look out. Look out!
Oh, God, and just think he hesitated for a second.
Yeah.
If he hadn't hesitated,
Never saw him. Griese left with an elbow injury, did not return, so in comes Jeff Garcia. Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. Doesn't hike the ball right away. Part of the problem, he couldn't hear to the sideline, so they had to switch out helmets. Fourth quarter, Garcia still having helmet issues.
Fit.
No, it wasn't working.
It'll have to fit.
Broncos leading 16-6. He gets picked off there by Marcus Thomas, but Thomas would fumble on the return. Hey, you did good, fall down. Tampa would get it back. On the ensuing drive now, Garcia and company trying to get something going with a 3rd and 2 on their own 20. Marlon McCree and DJ Williams say you are not getting to the outside. Well, that's what you teach your Little League right there.
That's right. Well, get off the ball.
Sideline is your friend.
Get to the ball carrier.
Sideline is your friend. Broncos win it 16-13. What about the Chiefs? What about back-to-back games for the first time since last September? You know, John Fox and Herm Edwards, not only coaches in the NFL, they played together at San Diego State, the same defensive backfield.
You know, I did not know that.
And neither one of them could cover Tony Gonzalez, who completes a 4-yard pass here. Why is this important? Because on that play, he becomes the leading receiving yardage guy in the history of the NFL when it comes to tight ends. Congratulations to a true professional. Then there's D'Angelo Williams. Little giddy up in his step, Merrill.
Now we talk penetration's the #1 killer in the running game. Well, when you get movement and lanes, that's the #1 killer against the defense.
And when you don't have anyone within 10 yards of you on the screen, that'll also hurt your defense. 25-yard touchdown, Carolina up 14-0. And then that's right up the gut. Just right up the gut he goes.
Boy, great design, though. Great trap action. Look at the traps there.
Well, and this just shows, this talks about the Kansas City Chiefs season. Offensive players just running through them like they're not even there.
Panthers win 34-0. Williams, 3 touchdowns, 123 yards on the ground. All right, Bears, Lions. You know, Detroit fired up. The Matt Millen era is behind them. They're coming off a bye. They're ready to show they're a different team against the Chicago Bears. And then they played the game. Kyle Orton to Matt Forte. Gotta like this kid.
A fullback option, halfback option out of the backfield, beat the linebacker.
Touchdown. There's up 10-0. Then Devin Hester now becoming a receiver, Trent Dilfer.
He is. They're really starting to develop some receivers. 7 guys caught the ball yesterday, and Lloyd was not one of them.
5 catches, 66 yards. Whoa. And then were it not for Reggie Wayne, Marty Booker here, greatest catch on the day.
That helps the quarterback right there.
However, then there were the Lions. Dan Orlovsky in for John Kitna. It bounces high, and Peanut Tillman takes it 26 yards back the other way, 34-7. Things are rolling for Chicago, but Roy Williams apparently was a little frustrated with the way things were going. Here he goes one way, the ball's going the other way. John Kitna's like, what are you doing? There seems to be mass confusion, Trent.
Well, and it doesn't matter whose fault it is. It matters how you handle it. You're in a situation where things aren't going right. We don't need this on the football field. This tears apart your football team.
He drops a pass there, then he can't get to this one. He kicks it, and notice, Roy here, rest of team over there in the 34-7 loss. When we continue, who gets the honors this week? Who will be the primetime players? Stay with us.
Clutch money hitter, Aramis Ramirez.
Deep center field. Cubs win. Aramis Ramirez with a game-winning home run.
Can't get more clutch than that, can you?
Day after day, brave as your life, be the one you'll never be again. Day after day, devious in life, be the one you'll never be again.
What's not to be impressed by? He does everything well. He's always in command. He's a clutch performer.
Touchdown! And that's the 4th for Peyton Manning.
I've always known that I could be a pretty good quarterback.
David's going to get in more. How about that one?
To get you angry, I'll probably slap you upside the head.
I have no words to describe how Mario Williams is playing. Touchdown! Mike! B.Y. to Painter.
Vince Young is a quarterback. That's it.
It was a day like any other in Moscow. Thousands of Spartak fans braved the bitter cold to see their beloved team play Holland's Harlem. Spartak were winning 1-0 when minutes before the final whistle they scored again. What ensued can only be described as one of the greatest tragedies in football. The Soviet media called it an accident in which some were injured. More than 300 people are thought to have lost their lives that day. ESPN Classic gives you the truth behind the Moscow football disaster. Monday, 20th of October at 2200 on ESPN Classic.
Hey, be with us for College Football Thursday night on ESPN. Quarterback Riley Skinner leads 21st ranked Wake Forest against Clemson in a key ACC showdown Thursday night at 7:30 Eastern after SportsCenter on ESPN. All right, time for the prime time performers, ladies and gentlemen. Merrill, where is your head right now?
Trey?
Yeah?
My head's right here, but I'm going to give it to a primetime group, not a primetime player. The offensive line for the Washington Redskins, the best unit in football, blowing people off the ball in the running game and doing a great job in the passing game.
So you went offensive line. Interesting.
Yes.
Trent?
Merrill, you almost got it right. It's the offensive line of the New York Football Giants. 523 total yards, backs going untouched. Eli Manning never gets dirty. That's the best offensive line in football.
Now, you're both crazy. Aaron Rodgers had every reason not to play, but he had one reason why he had to play, because of what Brett Favre has always done, showed up. They didn't win, but Aaron Rodgers gutted it out on a bad shoulder, and all he did was throw 3 touchdowns and 313 yards. Aaron Rodgers is your primetime performer. You guys just want to get on Schlereth's good side picking offensive line. See ya.